Oh, it's been raining a lot the last couple days. You know, sometimes people do come down here to the river, but when it's nice out, still not like as many as they're supposed to, really. But that's a different story. But I'm usually the only one who comes down here when it's nasty out. It's like I grew up around here, so when you're a kid and you grow up in the Pacific Northwest, before chemtrails, I should add, because it used to rain around here like regularly. It still does rain sometimes, but not like it's supposed to. I mean, we had a reputation as a dreary, drizzly, wet, foggy, rainy, bone-chilling cold winters, and yeah, that's what they were. We had about 2.5 months of cold winter, and then maybe a month of the winter, or a month and a half was just rain, and clouds, and then the spring was super nice, and the summer was like the best place in the world. I'm talking, the summers here were fantastic. The sky was dark blue. Clouds were gigantic. They looked like mountains slowly rolling over you with so much form to them that, you'd look at a cloud and it could be 50 different things. Not just a haze. There was never a haze. The fog doesn't even look like that stuff. But I digress. This is an old path here. I don't know how old this park is. It's older than me. Oh, that reminds me. There's a bridge in whatever bridge buttress, embankment. I don't know what they call it exactly, but where there used to be a bridge, the concrete, the supports on the hillside towards Camas. And it's on Highway 14. Highway 14's old. It's been exactly like it is my whole life. And I noticed through the trees and the brush, I just barely noticed one time this bridge embankment. And I rode my bicycle by there, and I looked, and it was like, the road's been like that my whole life, and from the looks of it, it's like probably my mom's whole life, maybe even my grandparents' whole life, so we're going back quite a ways. And the bridge embankment that was the old one, not being used anymore, because the bridge is gone, was way older than the road. It was in the hillside to the left, in an area where there was nothing for it to go to on the other side. It's a great big, not great big, but it's like the hill just slopes all the way down steep right there to the river level, just about, and there's a mill down there, or a log float thing where they strap the logs together and float them down the river. This is weird. Like that. Anyway. I'm looking for anomalous things like wind that behaves funny, branches or leaves that move inexplicably, or the white floaty things, because it's been raining, and there really shouldn't be the never-ending dogwood bloom. Shouldn't have big tufts of puffball, with little guts inside them sometimes even. They shouldn't just be like landing on the ground and then taking off again and then hovering around in the rain. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. We have things called the traditional laws of physics, right? But nevertheless, that is happening now. You know what could explain that? Drum roll, please. Electricity. Electric fields and magnetic fields can override gravity, no problem. And, I'm not talking heavy things here. These things can move along electric field lines. I think they're static myself. I think that's the nature of the entities that have descended upon the earth at some point in the past, and they latch themselves onto our bodies. They're not just psychic entities. They are psychic entities, but they're more than psychic entities, because once they attach to you, they physically drain you, so they're physical entities as well. You don't see their shape. I think the weird shit that burns off of like my medulla oblongata, which is the mouth of God, according to yogis, I believe the Hindus maybe, the mouth of God, because it's the most energetic place on your physical body as far as mental energies and spiritual energy. It's at the base of the skull and the top of the spine, and, there's a lot of nerves there, important ones, right? So anyway, these entities, they attach themselves to us like static electricity attaches itself to your socks. And it just, that's their life, or its life force energy is like a static electricity. So I'm trying to put a framework for this into. Boy, it's raining. And I see it as though, okay, check this out. This is my conspiracy theory, right? Okay, here's my conspiracy theory. 9/11 ain't shit. Chemtrails aren't not a conspiracy theory. Okay. Oh, white floaties floating around. Wind like mad. My conspiracy theory is this. They're static entities. They attach to us by 1 or 20 or thousands, as many as can get on you. And you have to stay in good shape, physically, mentally, emotionally, and also avoid the toxins that are put everywhere, because the toxic metals are conductive, and these conductive metals allow static electricity to stick to them better. If you didn't have any toxic metals in your body, these things could barely stick to you, in which case you would enjoy really good health and long life, as well as good health, not just one or the other. And but these things, it's like static electricity is a field, right? There's a field energy around static electricity, and that's what these high frequency cell towers and our phones and Wi-Fi's and computers and stuff, all that technology was given to us by these entities, really, to tell you the truth. They wanted us to have it, but not for the betterment of us. They wanted us to have it so they could get mankind into a situation where they don't realize what's going on. They're awed by all the gadgetry, and before they realize what's happened, the entities have completely poisoned everybody so that you're a suitable host for them. So if you're a Christian, call them a demon. If you're a Muslim, call them a jinn. And it's the same thing. There is what is, and I am experiencing it, and so I'm trying to put it into words, which is difficult sometimes, in just that dealing with things that are not talked about or not acknowledged by 90% of the, well, I wouldn't say that much, but a lot of the population doesn't acknowledge them. Even the parts of the population, such as real devout religious people who do acknowledge, their own version of spiritual things and energies, won't go so far as to really look at at your own physical state and objectively look at the society and have the memory and whatnot to recall if anything has changed. They just won't do it. They'll repeat what they were told over and over again. But God bless them, at least they're trying. Yeah, so these energies are static. They're like static. That's their nature, and when they get into your skin, you'll get lumps, white lumps under your skin, or the static is also like a field energy, so it has volume in three-dimensional space. If enough of it's in your blood, it'll make your veins swell up and probably cause poor circulation and heart arrhythmia. And if your physiology is such that that's not what's you're noticing the most, then it may be massive psoriasis, plaque psoriasis, or Crohn's disease, which oddly enough have the same treatment. Humira. We make it out of people. Oh man. Anyway, these entities are static. They stick to us. That's why earth grounding, and especially with the water too, river grounding, that's why it works so well, I believe. Because I was loaded to the gills. The shit was killing me. Go back 2.5, 3, you go back a year and a half, go back 2 years, 2.5, 3 years on my videos and watch some of them. And you'll be like, that dude's fucked up. And you'd be right. But not for the reasons that everybody thinks or assumes. I mean, that's just what you deal with Morgellons. Everybody's going to assume that you're whacked out on drugs or you've lost your mind. And unfortunately, the chemtrail shit affects the brains of you and as well as everyone else. So the people that are making these judgments are also getting their brains scrambled out too, but they are in massive denial about it. So that's even worse of an asshole than just being an asshole, if you ask me. I gotta get my feet in that water though. Anyway, I'll be back. It's an interesting day.